Hey, how's everyone doing today? I'm Joe Gufford, and this entrepreneurship lesson has to do with finding a break-even point. Here's what we do in class. We have the 4 Ps. We're going to do this all the time. Punctual, prepared, polite, and productive. It keeps us to where, we offer each other respect and we can get things done. By being on time, being ready to do what we're doing, by being polite and being productive, then we can accomplish things. If you will, please write the words "on time" in the chat box. That just lets me know that you're here and paying attention. I certainly appreciate that. All right, here are the objectives today. You will be able to, you as a student are going to be able to do this. Identify and explain the difference between variable and fixed expenses, which we've already done, and we're going to review that. You're going to be able to define the total cost and total revenue. And then you can analyze these expenses and revenue to determine the break-even point. All right, here's what we're doing today. We're going to review expenses, and we're going to compute the break-even point, and then we'll have a time for questions and answers. All right, check it out. Remember this about business expenses. We have fixed, we have variable. 2 different kinds of business expenses. The fixed expenses, these don't depend on how many units you sell. You're going to pay rent whether or not you sell 1 hot dog. You're going to pay the insurance, your liability insurance, no matter how many hot dogs you sell, right? If you're paying yourself a salary, you still want to make that money, and it doesn't matter how many hot dogs you sell. You still want to be paying yourself, right? You're going to advertise. Guess what? Those advertisers don't care how many hot dogs you sell. They're going to help you sell hot dogs, but doesn't matter how many you sell. You still got to pay that advertising bill, etc. Check this out. The variable expenses do depend on what you sell. That means if you're selling hot dogs, you're going to have to buy that hot dog, right? So you're going to have to pay for that hot dog that you put in a bun. You put some mustard and onions on it and whatever else you're putting on it. You're putting it with a napkin in a disposable tray and you're handing it to your customer. You have to pay for all that stuff. Those are expenses, and they're variable because it depends on how many hot dogs you sell as to how much that's going to cost you overall. Those together make up our total cost. All right, check this out. So we have these expenses to run our hot dog shop. You got to keep the lights on and the doors open, right? Pay for electricity. You got to pay for the telephone. You got to pay for water. You got to produce what you're selling. You got to do the hot dogs. You got to do the condiments and the napkins and the trays. And guess what? How do you pay for all this? Still make money. All right, we're going to start at the break-even point. Here's the formula for this break-even point thing. Fixed expenses, remember that's a monthly thing, divided by the difference between sale price and the variable expenses in dollars per unit. Keep that in mind. We're going to be reviewing this. What is actually a break-even point? The break-even point is the amount of revenue a business must generate in order to cover those fixed and variable expenses. All right, let's do an example. Lenny's Gourmet Hot Dogs. They sell for $3.50 a piece. Here's Lenny's monthly expenses. They add up to $6,689. Here's what it costs them to make a hot dog and to sell it, to hand that hot dog to the customer. 99 cents. All right, here's the break-even point in hot dogs sold. We can do the whole unit arrangement and show you that the dollars per month divided by dollars per unit comes up to units per month, or in this case, hot dogs per month. We have total fixed expenses of the 66.89 divided by this contribution margin, which we previously discussed, we're going to wind up, we have to sell 2,665 hot dogs in a month to break even. All right, so take a look at this. You're selling 2,665 dogs, $3.50 a piece. That adds up to $93.27.50. That's total revenue, right? All right. But our fixed expenses were only $66.89. That leaves us $2,638. We just made $2,700, right? Wait a minute. But didn't the break-even point just cover expenses? What is that left over? I thought it was break-even. All right, here's the deal. What is the break-even point? Let's go back to that definition. Break-even point is the amount of revenue a business must generate to cover fixed and variables. You don't, if your fixed expenses are $7,000, that doesn't mean that you have to generate $7,000 because you still have to pay for those variable expenses that you are actually giving to your customer to receive money for. All right, any questions? I am going to stop the recording at this time.